Very good morning to you all. Today we shall continue discussing about the connective tissue. We had already discussed about supporting connective tissue and the other tissues. Today we shall discuss about fluid connective tissue. Now we had discussed that the connective tissue has matrix which may be fluid, semi-fluid or gelatinous. Fluid connective tissue consists of two types of cells, tissues, that is blood and lymph. First we shall discuss about blood. Now when we define blood, what do we say? Blood is a red fluid connective tissue because of the pigment hemoglobin present in it. It imparts a red color to it. It is composed of two components. One is the blood plasma and second is the blood corpuscles or blood cells. What is blood plasma? The fluid part of the blood that contains a major portion, around 92% water, and the rest organic and inorganic salts. That may include certain proteins, hormones, urea, sodium bicarbonates, etc. Now, when we talk about the proteins, what are those? They can be fibrinogen, it can be globulin, antibodies, etc. Now, when we talk about the blood corpuscles means blood cells. There are three types. One is Rbc or erythrocytes, Wbc or leukocytes, and blood platelets or thrombocytes. First, we shall discuss about Rbc cells. You can see the Rbc cells, they are called, I have written here, enucleated. That means it does not have any nuclei, no mitochondria, no endoplasmic reticulum. This is to provide ample space because the Rbc carries oxygen. It contains hemoglobin, which has an affinity for oxygen, which combines with oxygen to form oxyhemoglobin and transports the oxygen to the tissues. Now, these Rbc cells, where they are produced? In the bone marrow. And they have a lifespan of 120 days. In an adult, it is about 5 million per cubic millimeter. And in an adult woman, it can be around 4.5 cubic millimeter. Now, when we talk about the Wbc cells, there are two types, granulocytes and agranulocytes. You can see the diagram. Agranulocytes, they are made up of two types, that is lymphocytes and monocytes. They have a single large nucleus. In one, they are kidney shaped or horseshoe shaped. You can see the diagram given here, that is the lymphocytes and the monocytes. You can see the diagram here clearly. The lymphocytes has a single large nucleus, and monocytes, the nucleus is horseshoe shape. This minute dots which you see, these are the cytoplasm, but it is not granular. That's why they are referred as agranulocytes. They are involved in phagocytosis, as well as the lymphocytes are concerned with production of antibodies. Then we have granulocytes. Why? The cytoplasm are granular. There are three types: neutrophil, basionophil and eosinophil. Neutrophil, they can be stained with neutral dyes. The nucleus is lobed, 3 to 4 lobed, and they can be stained with neutral dyes. Basiophil, you can see the nucleus is 2 lobed, cytoplasm granular, and they can be stained with basic dyes. Then you have the eosinophil. There also you can say the nucleus is prominent. It is 2 lobed, and it can be stained with eosin, that is the acidic dyes. And all these three different types of granulocytes, they are involved in phagocytosis as well as in production of histamine. The third type of blood cells or blood corpuscles are thrombocytes. They are also known as blood platelets. They have a lifespan of about 3 to 5 days. It can extend up to 10 days also. Whereas in the lymphocytes, that is the white blood cells, they have a lifespan of about 14 days, that is 2 weeks, and the number of that is the white blood cells in the person may range from to about 4 to 8,000 per cubic millimeter. Now this thrombocytes, we come down to thrombocytes again, or blood platelets. They are very important. They help in the clotting of blood when there is injury, cut, or when there is blood loss. Next, we have lymphatic system, which consists of lymph. What is lymph? It is a colorless fluid, somewhat yellow color or straw color. Now, apart from the blood circulatory system, there's another circulatory system also circulating in the human body, that is called as the lymphatic system. It consists of lymph, that is the circulating fluid, lymph capillaries, lymph vessels, and lymphatic nodes and lymphatic organs. So this lymph, it has got the same composition as blood plasma, but what happens? Rbc cells are absent and blood proteins. That's why they are referred as colorless. Got it? Now, this lymph has a harbor, that is leukocytes, which contain lymphocytes. Clear? Now, they flow through tiny fine tubes like structure called as lymph capillaries that unite to form lymph vessels. At certain region, the lymph vessels have got swellings, just like beads in a string. Those are called as lymph nodes. Where they are located? They are located in the neck region, at the armpits and groin. They harbor the lymphocytes and macrophages, and when required, they move to the site of infections and destroy the pathogen or the foreign antigens. Beside this, you have the lymphatic organs. Those are spleen and thymus. Spleen is, we shall be discussing about spleen only. So spleen, it is an organ present behind the stomach, just above the left kidney. It produces T lymphocytes and also Rbc cells during the embryonic stage of the human. It also acts as a reservoir of RBC, and we have studied that the Rbc cells are destroyed in the liver. Part of it is also destroyed in the spleen. So that was all about the fluid connective tissue. Generally, you may be asked, what is the function of RBC, Wbc, or blood platelets, and their structural differences. One more question you can be asked on this topic, that is difference between the blood and lymph, their structural difference or their functional difference. Next we come to another type of animal tissue, that is muscular tissues. Now muscular tissue, from the name itself, these are the muscle tissue, consist of number of muscle cells and fibers which are called as myofibrils. There are 3 types of muscular tissue: striated muscle, unstriated muscles, and cardiac muscles. Today we shall discuss only about the striated muscles. As you can see in the diagram, striated muscles, they are also called as stripe muscles or voluntary muscles. Not involuntary, it is voluntary muscles. Now, as you see in the diagram, they have striations. That's why they are called as striated muscles. Striation of alternate light band and dark band. The light band is also known as I band, and the dark band is referred as A band. Just like the cell has got the plasma membrane or the cell membrane, the muscle cell is bounded by a membrane called as sacrolemma. The cytoplasm is called as sacroplasm, and the endoplasmic reticulum is called as sacroplasmic reticulum. Since these muscles work under our control, they are also called as voluntary muscles. They are usually present in the lymph region. That is the hands and legs. When you want to move your hand, you move, walk, jump, ride. That is according to your will. So those muscles which work under our control are called as voluntary muscles. Okay. Now, these muscles are also called as skeletal muscles. Why? Because these muscles are found attached to the skeleton. That's why they are called as skeletal muscles. The biceps and the triceps, those come under this voluntary muscles. So, let us go through the topics again. You have the blood here. I'll give the copy here. Just wait till you move here. Blood, fluid connective tissue. Then we have the different types of blood cells, blood plasma and blood cells. Rbc cells or erythrocytes, Wbc cells or leukocytes, and blood platelets or thrombocytes. Rbc cells are produced in the bone marrow. They have a lifespan of 120 days. Helps in the transportation of nutrients, that is the digested food, gases, oxygen and carbon dioxide. Then you have white blood cells or leukocytes. They are called as nucleated. Well, I had mentioned earlier, Rbc cells do not have nucleus. That is the main structural difference between Rbc cells and Wbc cells. That is, Rbc cells do not have nucleus, mitochondria or endoplasmic reticulum. White blood cells are of three types. That is, white blood cells are of two types, as you can see, granular or agranular. Granular white is called as granular white blood cells or granulocytes because the cytoplasm contains granules and the nucleus are variously lobed. This also you may be asked as 1 mark question, difference between granulocytes and agranulocytes. Then you have after we study about the blood, we have the lymphatic system, that is the lymph.